couple years ago, I made a video about the gaming industry and some of the changes that have been happening in it over the last 10 or so years. A good portion of it was negative, as I was talking primarily about the noticeable lack of consistency in quality in AAA games due to an over-reliance on optics, marketability, and graphical fidelity, as opposed to meaningful content and gameplay. In this video, I want to revisit that topic to a degree, but now I want to focus more specifically on the general discourse surrounding not only AAA games and their quality, or again, lack thereof, but the attitudes towards the industry as a whole, and its seemingly imminent collapse according to some, and also how mostly misguided I believe that sentiment is. What prompted the last video was the discourse surrounding the medium. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you've also seen the Sonic meme, "I want shorter games with worse graphics, made by people who are paid more to work less, and I'm not kidding." Which, to give credit where credit is due, was originally a tweet from user Jordan Mallory, but the Sonic meme, from what I could tell, got much more circulation. What prompted this video is that I haven't seen that discussion really change at all. In fact, I've seen it develop further into people saying that the industry has never been worse, and that it's a shadow of its former self. The icing on the cake is the number of people reminiscing on the good old days of gaming, wishing we could reverse time to basically any point before right now. And to be fair, I'm all in for a bit of nostalgia, but certainly not to the same extent as many others making those arguments. What I'm really trying to get at here is that if you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you either completely agree that the games industry is failing, has already failed to some extent, or that it's going to fail very soon, and all the pieces are already in place, and it's only a matter of time. Or you'll agree with what I'm about to tell you, which is that that perspective is as good as nonsense. Now don't get me wrong, before getting into the details, I will concede that I understand that perspective entirely, and I'm not saying you aren't justified in feeling that way if that's the case. It's easy to despair, especially when game after game releases with less content, higher price tag, worse performance in almost every aspect, except for the in-game store of course, because microtransactions are always the most important part, and after release, a large number of the developers are laid off or the entire studio is shut down. And sometimes that's the result, even if the game is financially successful. If you pay attention to the industry at all, you've heard all of those stories and far too many times. So I get it, believe me, I get it. I do. However, the point I want to make today is that those events are only a fraction of the whole that is the hobby of gaming, and that our enjoyment of the hobby shouldn't be dependent on or relegated to strictly what's happening in the mainstream. Yes, it is the mainstream, so it's always going to be the most immediately visible part of the industry, getting the most attention, and oftentimes rightfully so, considering the stories that we unfortunately have coming from that part of it. Again, scandals, shutdowns, closures, and layoffs galore. Is that what's most important though? Are AAA games even the most important releases? I don't say this to make light of the layoffs and studio closures because they are important and relevant. But if a studio is making games that we don't want, or taking a once-beloved franchise and turning it into something that doesn't even look like what it used to be, do we really want more of that? Is a bad game that all we're going to do is criticize better than having no game at all? We put so much attention into mainstream gaming and AAA studios and releases, but if those studios are letting us down and failing, then maybe they deserve to fail. Maybe they don't deserve our attention, and even more specifically, not our money. Luckily for us, gaming has genuinely never been better. Well, unless you're trying to build a PC. RAM price hikes and all, thank you AI for that. Maybe besides, if you're currently wanting to build a PC specifically, gaming has never been better. Yes, there's a seemingly endless supply of bad press and tragedy, but the reality is that the good of where we are with gaming vastly outweighs the negatives. Like I was saying, the mainstream AAA space is what gets the most attention, but it's certainly no secret that the AA and indie space has carved out its own chunk of the market, and that space, in my opinion, and I know I'm not alone in that, is vastly superior. Just out of what I played last year, most of my favorite games were within those categories. Stray, Wuchang Fallen Feathers, Lies of P, Haste, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and plenty more, none of which are from AAA studios or had comparable budgets or team sizes. It's certainly no secret that these parts of the market are starting to shift the industry, and every year that movement seems to be bigger and more meaningful. In 2023, Larian won Game of the Year for Baldur's Gate 3. A self-funded, independent studio who had to pay for the franchise use rights. In 2025, Sandfall Interactive won for Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the first game from a new studio of less than 40 people, and they gave us what I think is one of the greatest experiences ever crafted, and it was basically just a pure passion project. That's the industry I want to support. Those are the teams I want to support. Those are the teams that I believe in. Not the AAA studios who lay off half their developers after making a successful game. Not the studios who prioritize monetization over experience when they're already making more money than ever before. And we as the consumer are so lucky to have the variety that we do. We live in a time when there are those passion projects being made, and the tools to make them are readily available for those passionate creators to turn them into a reality. An estimated 50 new games are released just on Steam every single day. That's over 1,000 games a month, all available with just a few simple clicks. We have devices that let us play our games anywhere and everywhere. We can buy a game on one device and then continue playing it on another and pick up right where we left off. We have never had the level of convenience or opportunity that we do now. We can spend our time lamenting over the big budget, broken releases, and endless greed of the cash shops, or we can take that time and energy and put it to something good. Why don't we spend more time highlighting hidden gems, new indie games, upcoming releases from smaller teams? We have so much to be thankful for and to appreciate. And I know there's plenty of that already, but I still wish there was more of it in the discourse, particularly in place of all the needless negativity. There is so much of it and it's exhausting, it's frustrating. What other time in our lives have we had the convenience of powerful and affordable handheld consoles that can play games spanning multiple console generations? What other time could we hop into a multiplayer game and join a match with our friends on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and mobile all at the same time in the same lobby? When else could we want a game and just install it immediately, instead of having to go to the store to get the disc? When on console have we been able to play with mouse and keyboard natively and not have to get a third-party adapter and risk getting banned for cheating? When else have there been entire controllers built purely for accessibility? When else have we had the absolute plethora of accessibility options that we do now in the settings of basically every game? I mean, have you ever been stuck in a game and had to look something up? We have everything we need and more within reach at all times. I know an argument against all of that is price too. Like I mentioned earlier about PC and RAM prices, the same unfortunate increases have reached the console space. Everything is getting more expensive. And whether it feels like it or not, the sad truth is that gaming is considered a luxury hobby. But even with the barrier to entry that is prohibitive pricing, we live in a time where most of us have a console already, and we carry it in our pockets every day. You're probably watching this video on it right now. And I know phones aren't literally consoles, but they might as well be with some of the games that we can play on them. Fortnite, Minecraft, PUBG, Call of Duty, Diablo. It's crazy to think about the power we walk around with every day, and the huge games these simple little bricks can run. Yes, the mobile gaming space is a beast of its own, with even more egregious monetization than on console. And similar to what I'd say for those on console, just don't engage with it. If it's optional to partake, simply choose not to and just enjoy the game for what it is. Regardless, we have amazing games at our disposal. Powerful devices that we don't even have to go out of our way to get, because most of us have one already. You can even connect controllers to them. You can Bluetooth the controller to your phone and play these games the exact same way that you would on console. Again, the level of convenience is just unmatched. There's a reason the gaming industry has grown faster and larger than any other entertainment industry before it. It's the convenience. No one is forced out of the hobby or industry because just about everyone has immediate access to it now. The number of games that you can play completely for free with no subscription cost or initial fee, anything, is astonishing. That's only considering modern games too. For those of us who are only interested in retro gaming, we aren't limited by having to have a PC, or to going out to buy original hardware, or to spending hundreds of dollars on a single game because it's a niche collector's item now. With backwards compatibility on modern hardware and retro emulation, which you can also do on your phone, there has never been more immediate access to games. We have entire libraries of games at our fingertips, and it's incredible. We are so lucky to be here at the time that we are. We have so much to be thankful for that I encourage you to take a moment and just appreciate what we have. Before wrapping things up, I also want to make sure to add that I'm not saying negativity shouldn't exist. Criticism and critique are some of the many ways through which things can be improved, so it is vital that it exists. However, negativity has this tendency to feed off of itself, and if left unrestrained, it can grow exponentially and in excess very quickly. And a lot of people like to be negative just for the sake of being negative, finding arguments and making complaints where there are none, creating problems from nothing, making things larger than they actually are, and fabricating flaws just to get a reaction. We do live in a time of reactions. Instead of feeding into the hostility where enough already exists, just play what matters to you. Play what's important, play what deserves to be played, and appreciate how quickly and easily it is to play what we want, how we want, because there really has never been a better time to play video games. So please, try to stay positive. This is a hobby that is meant to be enjoyed after all, and try not to forget that. And let me know in the comments something about the industry that you appreciate, or maybe your favorite retro handheld, or retro game, or a AA or indie game that you think I should check out. I always love a good game recommendation. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and I hope to see you next time.